This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
School had kind of turned their backs on me, and I didn't know what to do.
A Central Indiana teen says her school district failed to protect her after a classmate sexually assaulted her. Tonight, only on RTV6, she shares her story for the first time. I'm Mark Mullins. Tonight, RTV6 is working to hold those in power accountable as that student accuses a school district of doing too little to protect her and other students. As Call 6 investigates, Kara Kenny reports, a federal investigation has been launched after two families filed complaints against Hamilton Southeastern, and the feds had some concerns over how the district handled things.
Amaya Armstrong just started her senior year at Hamilton Southeastern High School.
I think I want to be a doctor or a lawyer. I know that I want to help people.
Amaya says it's taken nearly 2 years to recover from what she says happened at the age of 15. She was a sophomore when she says an older male student sexually assaulted her.
He said that he wouldn't let me out of the car until I performed sexual acts, and when I told him I wasn't comfortable with that, he forced me to do it.
Amaya and her parents reported the alleged assault to law enforcement and HSE school officials.
The kids were horrible to me, and I felt so alone. My friends had turned their back. I had a few true friends, but I just felt so alone.
Amaya successfully obtained a protective order against the male student, but he could legally still attend the same school.
I would see him, and it was absolutely horrible. I didn't feel safe.
Amaya ended up leaving HSE High School her sophomore year.
What do you think the school could have done better?
I think they could have provided me with resources on how to cope, and instead I had to find that out by myself. There was nothing that they helped me do. Well, I felt like the school had kind of turned their backs on me.
Title IX is a federal law that says a school has a responsibility to respond promptly and efficiently to sexual harassment allegations. In its findings just released to Amaya and her parents, the U.S. Department of Education says it had concerns HSE did not appropriately determine whether a hostile environment existed for Amaya following the alleged sexual assault. The feds also had concerns the district did not appropriately follow up on reports that additional students may have been sexually harassed by the same male student.
They didn't talk to people like they could have. They didn't protect. They just didn't know what to do.
As part of its agreement with the feds, HSE has started to implement several steps, including improving its Title IX training, improving its documentation procedure of sexual harassment complaints, and the district points out the federal investigation did not result in any violations. Telling us, as part of that process, we agreed to share information with the department for a limited period of time. While unrelated to the agreement with the department, we have proactively engaged in efforts to improve our non-discrimination and anti-harassment procedures and professional development opportunities for staff and students. We will continue to monitor and refine all of our practices to reflect our continuing commitment to educational community, equity, and respect.
Do you feel like this was an adequate punishment or finding?
No. I think a lot more should have been done. I think that the district should be held accountable more than that.
That was Kara Kenny reporting. The male student accused of sexual assault is known in federal documents as Student B. We are not naming him because he was never criminally charged. We have been unable to reach him for comment. It's a Storm Team 6 alert day as we watch some activity on the radar overnight. Storm Team 6's Kyle Mounts is here for the latest look at your forecast. Hey, Kyle.
And Mark, we do have that slight to even enhanced risk of severe weather here as we go later into the evening and overnight hours. You can see that enhanced risk does include Indianapolis back to the west. That's that scale 3 out of 5 here. Slight risk for the rest of us and primarily for some gusty winds. And we can't rule out an isolated tornado or two. And typically we see the sunset and that diminishes a severe weather threat. That's not going to be the case this time around. Things are fairly quiet though. We've got just one shower here into northern portions of Putnam County around Bainbridge, and we've got a couple more showers around Delphi and Logansport, but it's really back into Iowa and Illinois that we'll be watching those storms. And here's TrueCast for you just after midnight tonight. That's when we'll start to see those storms taking shape here by 2 a.m., really kind of filling in over the western half of central Indiana, including Indianapolis. And then by 4 o'clock in the morning, Really looking at that focus for gusty winds south of I-70. We'll talk about how much rain we could see out of these storms in a few minutes.
We'll see you soon, Kyle. Thank you. RTV6 is working to get to the bottom of what happened leading up to a student bringing a loaded gun near a school in Muncie. No one was hurt and police arrested him before anything happened, but tonight that boy has been charged. RTV6's Stephanie Wade talks to his family, who gave us a glimpse as to what led up to that day.
Tonight, we're hearing from the student's aunt after the 15-year-old brought a loaded handgun to this school. She tells me in an exclusive interview, problems at home prompted the chaos that unfolded here last week.
I broke down. Like, I cried. Like, I went into panic mode.
Many parents were in panic mode last Wednesday after reports of a student with a gun was across the street from Muncie Central High School, especially this woman, when she heard it was her nephew.
My reaction was like, oh my God, is he okay? Where is he at now?
The student's aunt, who prefers we not use her name, says while she would never excuse bringing a weapon to school, the teen's issues stem from his troubled home life. She and his mother are no longer close, but says both his parents have been in and out of jail most of his life.
My nephew has been dealing with this since he was a baby. CPS has been involved multiple times. CPS has came to my house.
She tells me the boy was being bullied and threatened and bought the gun for protection, calling on the Department of Child Services to step in.
I don't see how a 15-year-old should feel they have to carry a gun to protect themselves just because the system is failing them. No kid should ever have to feel like that.
Police say the person who alerted the school resource officer of the gun did the right thing. Parents should encourage their kids to speak up if something doesn't feel right.
We are seeing this as a growing trend around the country. Fortunately, this is pretty rare for us here locally, and I think that's why it's kind of got everybody on the edge of the seat here, just how tragic this could have been.
Working for you in Muncie, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Tonight, RTV6 is staying on the job, keeping after a problem that we started investigating over the weekend. It may not be until the end of this week before a terrible smell dissipates in one Castleton neighborhood. The Indianapolis Department of Public Works is working on a drainage project that's supposed to help with flooding within the Castleton Farms neighborhood near 75th and Shadeland. Fish have died due to crews draining a nearby pond in the process. Neighbors say the smell has been an issue for days and it's not getting any better. When we reached out to DPW, they told us dredging work on the pond has begun, and weather permitting, the dead fish should be removed by the end of the week. New driving restrictions to get used to this week thanks to the Indigo Red Line launching in just a few weeks. Take, for example, the new center median on Meridian Street. There's also one now on College Avenue. You cannot make left turns or go over these medians. East-west movement and left turns are allowed only at intersections with traffic signals, but we caught some drivers going over the median anyway. Lincoln Square Pancake House on the west side of Meridian is one of those businesses not at an intersection, so you may have to take Illinois to get there from the south. Coming up in Hiring Hoosiers, it's the club that's not only fun, it also gets you ready for the workforce. The group that's helping to take students from the classroom to their careers.
And with severe storms overnight, good time to make sure you've got the Storm Shield app. It is free and will send any of those watches or warnings right to your phone during the overnight hours. We'll have a closer look at those storms. You're watching RTV6 News at 7.
Working for you. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
If you happen to catch a gap in the clouds, tonight's the night to catch the Perseid meteor shower, well known as one of the best meteor showers there is. It peaks tonight and into early tomorrow morning. We're talking as many as 100 meteors per hour flying through the sky. This one's popular because it happens midsummer and because the meteors can leave behind a glitter trail. An almost full moon and clouds could make it tougher to see some of the meteors. You can watch the meteor shower live on NASA TV. If you don't get to see anything, thanks to the rain over Indiana tonight, you can count. There will be pictures, countless pictures and videos all over the internet tomorrow. We've got storms to talk about, which could affect the
Yeah, NASA TV is probably going to be your best bet to try and catch those tonight. We are going to be watching some storms, and even though things have been quiet, you know, we've still got here into the overnight. This is where we're looking at, and we'll talk more about this timeline and window of opportunity, if you will, for those storms. So far, things have been fairly quiet across central Indiana. Our temperature right now, 80 degrees in downtown, 82 in Bloomington, and the upper 70s in Tipton at 78 degrees. Storm Team 6 radar shows the bulk of the rain has so far been across northern Indiana. It's really back here into parts of western Illinois and Iowa that will be watching those thunderstorms to take shape. Between now and then, an isolated shower, thunderstorms possible, and that's pretty much what we've got. A couple of isolated showers around Delphi, also into northern portions of Putnam County. But as far as the severe weather threat goes for us, after 11 o'clock tonight to about 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll have that line of thunderstorms moving through, primarily with some damaging winds and an isolated tornado threat. So here's TrueCast for you. Just around the midnight hour, you can see a few of those thunderstorms moving in around Rockville. By 2 o'clock in the morning, Indianapolis, that's about the time frame we're expecting those severe storms to be moving through Crawfordsville as well as portions of Morgan County. By 4 a.m., we've got those thunderstorms mainly near and south of Interstate 70 from Bloomington through Greensburg into Connorsville and just south of Richmond. But by tomorrow morning, I think the bulk of the rain will be out of here. But we still could have a few isolated showers or storms as we go throughout the day on Tuesday. Still going to be a muggy day, too, with those highs making their way into the lower and middle 80s. 84 your afternoon high in Bloomington, 83 degrees in Muncie. And here's a look at TrueCast as we go throughout our Tuesday. Again, not a whole lot in the way of additional rainfall, but tonight some areas could pick up over 2 inches of rain if you get under a couple of those thunderstorms. So some localized flooding also going to be an issue. 7-day planning forecast, things quiet down after Tuesday. We're into a dry stretch of weather once again, a little less humid and cooler too, with highs in the lower half of the 80s here. We'll warm it back up as we head toward next weekend with highs approaching 90 degrees and a small chance for a few showers creeping back into the area by Saturday.
All right. Thanks, Kyle, for that. Coming up here, looking for Hoosiers to fill manufacturing jobs. The program aimed at college students looking for an early leg up on what can be a lucrative career. Plus, it's a chance for the smallest minds to learn big things about the tiniest creatures. The science at the State Fair ahead in Hiring Hoosiers, only on RTV6. RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers is all about connecting you with jobs, skills, and resources no matter what stage you're at in life. And as students head back to school, we have a special focus on classroom to career and programs helping students gain the experience needed to land the jobs of the future. Today, we are looking at an organization called INMAC, or Indiana Next Generation Manufacturing Competitiveness Center. And RTV6's Lauren Casey traveled up to Lafayette, where summer interns are sharing what they learned over the summer at a variety of INMAC internships.
We used to be on the model of someone goes to college, comes out, applies for jobs, and I think that's really went by the wayside. People have got to get invested in their career early so that they understand the culture, what's required of them.
Aaron Bowdy with Ivy Tech says internships are valuable to both the employer and the student. Students get exposed to an industry like manufacturing, learn those soft skills and the culture. They come back to class with more enthusiasm and a real clear idea of their future. The employer gains a pipeline to future employees in an industry that is desperately in need of skilled workers.
One of the challenges with internships is companies having a revenue to pay for those interns and provide those opportunities. And those are two things that INMAC really helps with.
The past 2 summers, INMAC connected 150 students to internships in manufacturing all across the state. And here's a look inside just a few of those locations. With manufacturing, there's a whole host of opportunities for work, from engineering to marketing to safety and more. Cheyenne Laker is an aeronautical engineering student at Purdue in West Lafayette. And this summer through INMAC, she completed her 4th internship at Batesville Tool and Die.
It's been a lot of fun, and it's kind of nice getting to see what all happens on the floor and how they work through problems.
Laker's role this summer was checking the quality of parts before shipping.
So I'm hoping that I'll have a lot of knowledge and experience going into a job in the future.
Hammond native Bailey Goodman is majoring in marketing at Purdue Northwest. Last summer, she completed an internship at Subaru Automotive, and those connections led her to Connexus, Indiana this summer.
Some days I would work on mailing out different certificates from our higher tech students. Another day I might be researching different advanced manufacturing logistics, statistics, and then putting it into like a visual, like a graph, and presenting that to our team.
And Megan Blackwell is studying mechatronics engineering and technology and put her degree to good use at Fiat Chrysler in Kokomo, focusing on improving test stands for transmissions.
I'm working on the valve body and then the final test stands, which is really important, and we're looking at failure modes in the test stands and how we can prevent these failures.
Technical skills and human connections this senior plans to carry with her in her upcoming job search.
I got to take down and put together 2 transmissions during their summer, and I've never been like that deep into something that's mechanically like that huge. It was really cool.
Working for you, Lauren Casey, RTV6.
Well, this week there's an opportunity for your kids at the fair with an interactive exhibit getting students engaged in the world of science. RTV6's Aaron Lish got an inside look at what children are learning about right now. Through Purdue Extension, they're getting experience with these tiny but powerful organisms that have a hand in everything that we do.
In the Mighty Microbes interactive exhibit, kids like Bella Strevel are learning
about germs and stuff.
Finding out more about microorganisms.
That if you don't do stuff, you'll get all sick and stuff.
The focus by Purdue Extension is to show kids how microorganisms produce many things like food, pharmaceutical products, and biofuels.
All these different things are just teaching youth and kids about the science and technology and engineering and math and the power that we have behind the microbes that we have in our living world.
You've created an antibiotic by combining a specific type of fungus with sugar.
This display leaving parents even impressed.
It's quite interesting to show them the way some of the antibodies and the different viruses work and the way brewing works.
The hope is to get kids interested in STEM at a young age so they can consider becoming a scientist one day.
When they learn about the science and the neat things, the occupations that they could potentially have going forward, allows them to grow and to think about what opportunities they're going to have for the future.
Bella's dad says this very well could be a future career path for her, but this allows her to decide while having fun.
This shows them that anything of that nature can be enjoyable, and if it leads it to them, then we're absolutely for it.
Working for you, Aaron Lish, RTV6.
And you can find this display inside the Purdue Extension Horticulture Building at the Indiana State Fairgrounds right before you get to the rides. The Extension also brings this around to local kids' museums. Young minds are so important. That's why we're going big this month, showing you how local schools are preparing students for careers. And one district is giving high schoolers the opportunity to receive that 2 years of experience, often listed on entry-level job postings before they graduate. RTV6's Alyssa Donovan talked to one student who was able to decide on a career before he even got his high school diploma.
Isaiah Lacey is setting up a 3D printer workstation at Indiana Creek Middle School. The teen just graduated from high school and spent his summer break learning skills like this.
Yeah, I wanted to do it to get experience because this is what I want to do for a living. I want to be in the computer field somewhere.
The tech team program started last year. Students take computer science or technology classes, then they can join the technology team. For their senior year, they get to be part of work-based learning.
Where they become fully integrated into our technology team here and are just another member of our staff in the afternoon. They help troubleshoot devices, they help work on technology problems that their fellow students and teachers might be having, and they also work on repairing some devices that are broken.
The opportunity proved to be a very important one for Lacey as he laid out his future.
I was really trying to decide between the sports management field and this field, and I actually got to take 2 classes, one in each, and it helped me decide that this is what I wanted to do. This is the way I wanted to go.
A field where he will be needed.
Technology is, becoming more and more important and more integrated into our lives and into our schools. And having people that are skilled in that and knowledgeable in that is going to be incredibly valuable.
And thanks to the tech team, Lacey is well ahead of the game. Working for you, I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Lacey says he's learned so much and he already knows exactly what he wants to do with this experience. He's going to college to major in computer information systems and join the ROTC to eventually get a job in the military intelligence field. You can see all of today's stories and other programs that might work for you right now at hiringhoosiers.com. Still ahead, we're taking you live outside right now as we get ready to give you a final check of your alert day with Storm Team 6. Stay with us. RTV6 News at 7 continues.
or Santa Fe. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Kyle's back with a final check of your forecast on this Storm Team 6 alert day.
Yeah, and after tonight, we get to around 11 o'clock, and after, that's when we're going to see that line of thunderstorms pushing through. Still the enhanced risk from Indianapolis to the west, a slight risk of severe weather for the rest of us, for some gusty winds and that isolated tornado threat. So here's TrueCast a little after midnight tonight. You can see those thunderstorms taking shape and moving through central Indiana here. As we get into tomorrow morning, though, for the rush hour, should things improve quite a bit there.
All right. A lot of people waiting to get to it in the morning.
Yeah, we got to get through a few storms tonight. A little bumpy out there.
All right. Download the Storm Shield app. That'll help you through the night if you need it. We're back with you tonight for RTV6 News at 11. It's been great having you along. Have a good evening.